Welcome to Hollywood Approved with Stacey and Yael. Each episode is an exploration of taste as we dive into the good, the bad, and the unexpected in TV and movies. Tune in for the celebrity guests, stay for the surprising recommendations. This is Hollywood Approved. I'm
Yay!
hitting my stride with it. We're working it out.
You got it. It was beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be back. I'm excited to be here with you, Stacey. How are you
Yay!
doing?
We're back. I felt like a motherless child with you gone for those 2 whole weeks. We all missed you, but it was so fun.
Thank you. Thank you for holding down the fort. I very much appreciate it. I'm so excited about today's guest.
Yes.
Right now, I
Okay.
believe number one movie, if not the number one movie for the past few weeks, is the scariest thing I've ever heard of. The movie Smile, and we have Jack Sochet. Hello.
Woo!
How are you, too?
So good. So excited.
I'm not as scary as the movie.
I was gonna say like
Thankfully.
We'll see, though.
Talk to me about Smile, because I am a scaredy cat and it looks absolutely terrifying. The promos are terrifying. The people sitting at sporting events, I don't even watch sporting events, and now I definitely will not because it is so scary. Tell me about this movie. What is this thing?
I don't want to give too much away, but I would say generally it's about people. Sochi Bacon plays Rose, who's a psychiatrist who works at a facility, and I'm one of her patients, and she runs into other patients, and a strange thing happens that Rose has to discover what it's all about. That's as much as I'll give away, but it takes place in a psychiatric facility, and it goes from there.
That's wild. I will say the ads are very mysterious, and it's just like a bunch of kind of like disconnected scenes. And I was like, "What is this movie about?" Like, I know it looks terrifying, and I will probably watch it. I got to get some more people in the room. I have a friend coming to
Well,
visit, so I said, "When you come, then we'll."
no, but the good thing is because it's only in theaters right now. So if you go to a theater, you're scared together.
Ah,
So you can
that's
actually,
true.
maybe you'll meet someone to the right of you and be like, oh, and end up going on a date. You
Yeah,
never know. Horror films are great date films because you
that's
cuddle
true.
automatically. Yeah,
Mhm.
you know, you need
That
someone
is
to protect you. But it really is about Sochi Bacon's character, who's phenomenal in this movie, by the way, and it was
Mhm.
written by Parker Finn, and who's a great director and writer, and it's about her searching for answers. So it's mysterious and scary and everything else.
Can I ask about the audition for this film? And did they require everyone to do creepy smiles? Is that part of the
Well, for me, yes, I had to do a creepy smile, yes, and luckily my wife is a psychiatrist, so I was able to borrow some of her scrubs, and she helped me, figure out what this character would be, and we had fun with it. As crazy as it sounds, we had fun with it, yes.
that is wild.
Yes. So yeah. But yeah, so yeah, you had to practice your smile. And it's also very hard to smile, for myself at least, and keep your eyes kind of dead and not have them water.
Mhm. Oh,
So,
yeah.
and you got to hold it for a certain period of time and not move. So there's an art to it. But I got to say the woman who was the smiler at the baseball game was phenomenal at it. Like she was scary. Even
Yeah.
for me, and I'm in the movie. She did a great job. And the guy was so tall who was smiling also. It was a great campaign, really smart. But yeah, it plays on that whole idea of we think a smile is innocent and happy, and who knows?
Who knows what's behind it? Yeah.
Exactly. But I do repeat. I think if you two could see it in a movie theater, it'll be a better experience for all of you. And it's okay to be scared. I was scared when I watched it and I'd read the script. So there
Right.
you go.
Well,
I
I wanted to ask about basically your journey to the movie. How did you even hear about it? What was it about it that you were like, I got to audition for this?
Well, I didn't know much about it before I got it through my agent, and but I just really liked the character. I mean, Carl Rankin is my character's name, and
Mhm.
a lot of people would call him, poor Carl, and he's struggling with his mental health. So he's just trying to do the best he can and figure out his way in the world. And I just really related to him because we're all, trying to figure out our way in the world in different ways. And I never done a real good horror. And Parker was fantastic, and I was just really excited about it. It's a great script, and it's a really good story. So I think that's why it's doing so well.
Yeah, I mean, it is the season of spooky. People love their horror films. Why do you think that is that people really enjoy being scared?
I don't know, because I don't really love being scared personally. But I think because people like being surprised, whether it's like out of nowhere something interesting happening to them that takes them out of where they are. Because if you're scared, you could be thinking about something else, but all of a sudden when somebody scares you, all you're thinking about is that. So it really is a good way to get you out of your head and get very present, I think. And it's just fun to be scared.
I love that idea. We have the stairwell, and we can go down to the garage. And so when you have to kind of beep the door to go out, and it's like a security thing. And so I'll go out, and then I'll hear someone up above me come out, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta get to the bottom. I gotta get out of here. He's after me. It's just always like this thing, and my heart starts racing, and I get downstairs, and I'm like, okay, I'm safe. And I was just like,
yeah, but you're very alive in that moment.
You're alive,
You feel very alive, yeah. So I think that's why people like it, yeah.
I'm trusting you both on that. I do not like to be scared. I do not like to be frightened. I don't like things jumping out at me. And now apparently I don't like when strangers smile. That is just freaking me out.
Yeah, what are we gonna do? We gotta make, it's okay. Yeah, I agree. It's not
staying inside.
Right. I like that it kind of eradicates the whole "you'd be pretty if you'd smile," and I'm like, just watch me.
It's true. It is very true. Because I grew up in New York City, and I also say there are people like when you ride a subway or a bus who have the big eye thing, and that used to always freak me out. Like people have really wide, so I was like, now I have to worry about smiles too. So, and also I never thought I had such a scary smile. People are like, you have a really scary smile. Like, what do I do from now on? Just go like.
I was gonna say,
exactly.
How much has this changed your life?
I know, how do I smile now? I'm gonna be, so I don't scare people.
Like Jack used to be so polite, and now I just don't know.
But if it's any consolation, my mom will not be going to see this movie. So.
Good on Mom.
Yeah,
she knew. She was like, I gotta keep looking at him.
True. And she's like, I support you and I love you, but I don't want to be scared for an hour and 45 minutes, whatever it is. So and I love my mom, so there you go.
There you go. What flavor of horror do you like? So I have some friends who they're like, if it's like real life stuff, like stalkers and murderers, I can't do it. But if it's like demons and spirits, then I'm fine. And I'm exactly the opposite. I'm like, if it's demon and spirits, I can't do it. But if it's real life, or real life-ish, then I'm like, oh yeah, let's do this. Let me figure out how to avoid this situation ever happening to me personally. What's your kind of flavor on it?
Honestly, I would say before this movie, I was much more in the Yael camp of avoiding horror films. When I was really young, I gotta say one quick story is at 16, that's why I'm saying it's good to go to a horror film. I actually met a girl at a movie theater in New York City after seeing, I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was a very scary movie. It was like a Candyman was re-released or something like that. But we ended up going out on a date. So, but I've avoided horror films for a long time. But after being in it, I guess I do. I kind of like The Shining. Is a film that I kind of can watch over and over again, and also like The Exorcist or Rosemary's Baby. I enjoy those. I guess similar to you, I enjoy them more than the supernatural ones because that scares me more. Like I grew up in New York City, so like my wife gives me a hard time all the time when we're in the country. But I'm like, I don't like not being able to see.
Exactly.
I mean, and if I can't see, I'm like, I don't want to be out here because who knows what can happen to me. So maybe I'm similar to you. Where like I just want to. If it's people, I enjoy it more because it's easier for me to process.
Right.
But the unknown is it's scary. Yeah.
It's so funny that you bring up Rosemary's Baby, and first of all, call it not a supernatural, as though isn't her baby the devil's?
I guess it is, but it doesn't feel that way because they're all just people. I actually
Right.
watched that movie at Hollywood Forever Cemetery at an outdoor screening. It was a fantastic,
Nope.
fun evening. Yeah.
That's so funny. I as I've said many a times, I'm not a scary movie person. Yet I've realized that growing up, my friends and I would go to the movies and see whatever the big movie was, and it didn't occur to me that it was scary movies. And so, like, I've seen The Ring, and I've seen all the screams, and I've seen Rosemary's Baby. Like, I've seen all these terrifying movies. I saw The Craft, did not realize that it was a horror film. So I showed it to a friend. She was like, "I thought you hate horror." I was like, "But I love The Craft." So I think now I'm just a scaredy cat, but I think in my teens, and now I'm sad I didn't do this to, get dates. You're a genius.
Right?
But Yael, it's not too late.
There we go.
It is
Nothing's
too late.
No, it is not. You have time.
It's funny. I used to avoid horror altogether, except unless it was like pop horror, so like the screams, disturbing behavior, the faculty, that kind of stuff. But I started covering this horror film festival that's going on right now called Scream Fest, and they were one of the first people that ever gave me credentials. So I go back every year and I make sure I give them some love. But then I'm like, I have to watch these movies, and it's going to be scary. So I've gotten very, very good at deducing what's happening by watching like a corner of the screen, and I've got really good timing. Right before a jump scare, I'm like, nope. And then it happens, and then people are like, "How do you do that?" And I'm like, I'm like, we already know I can't take it. I have to be out of it. So I love it.
No, but that's right. But also, speaking of Scream, like, because we all probably babysat a little bit in our life. So Scream was very effective in that way because it'd be like, have you checked the kid? Like it's
lock the doors,
right?
Close the windows.
Yes. I think I did that to my sister once. Like I called down to scare her after Scream just to mess with her. But which was not nice to me, but it was effective.
Do you still talk to her?
I do.
There we go.
I hope she sends you scary smile photos now. That's what you deserve.
To get me back. No, we worked through it. It took a lot of therapy, but we really got through it.
There we go.
I love that. Well, let's move on to today's discussion questions about TV and movies. So, Jack, we will start with you. What is the last thing that you watched?
Well, it's actually kind of cute. My niece, who's 11 years old, organized a big family function where she and I went and got some pumpkins. We carved pumpkins, and then we watched Nightmare Before Christmas as a family and ate chili. And I'd not seen that movie in a long time. Like I say, it is a really good movie. Tim Burton does a great job in it, and it was just really fun to watch as a family. My mom had never watched it. She kept saying, "This is so good. This is so good. This is really
I've
good."
never seen it. Yeah.
You've never seen it either, Stacey?
I've never seen it all the way through. I think I've seen like bits and pieces, but I couldn't tell. Except this is Halloween. That's the only part I know.
Now keep going. Let's go. You gave that whole.
No, that's it. That's all I got.
Jack, let me ask you.
And I just found out Halloween was the name of a town in the movie, and I thought it was the season.
Jack, I got to ask you the big question: is Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie?
That's a very good question. I got to say, I would still say it's a Halloween movie, 75%, but it could work for Christmas too. But I still think it's a Halloween movie because they learn to appreciate Halloween. Like they're proud of what they do. I think the overall theme is like, oh, I'm happy I'm in Halloween, not in Christmas. So I'm going to lean toward Halloween, but it's actually a very good question, Yael. I should have done some research before I came on the show. I didn't know.
Everyone disagrees on it, so you pick your side and stick to it.
I'm sticking to it. Halloween.
Nice. I agree. I love that movie, and I love that it is played on TV during the Halloween season and then again during the Christmas season, because anyone who's ever watched any show where I talk about TV and movies knows that I hate Christmas and therefore love a Halloween movie during Christmas.
Takes me out when you say that, because I forget, and then it's like
passion, with a passion.
So, Yael, do you watch the Grinch up until he changes, and then you're like,
100%. That movie is fantastic until his heart grows.
Exactly.
It is so good. It's one of my favorites, literally until that moment. And I go, and it's over.
And it's over. That's good.
It's
That's
like
your own
watching
edit.
the first 2/3 of Benji and being like, oh, it's a wonderful little movie about a cute dog. And I
Yep,
don't know what happened at the end.
Right.
exactly.
That's good though. I agree. Be your own editor sometimes.
Hey,
Thank you.
sometimes, yeah.
Stacey, what about you? What is the last thing you watched?
I don't remember what I told you.
You
Let's
said
see.
Hellraiser.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God, this movie. Okay, so here's my issue.
Wait, have you seen the original? I've never seen any Hellraiser movies.
I have seen bits and pieces, and so I had to write this little story thing on it because Jamie Clayton plays the Hellraiser in it. And in the books, the Hellraiser is supposed to have a more kind of androgynous, gender fluid feel to it. And so I was excited to kind of see how that works. So I was like, let me read this wiki and get like a nice little overview. And I was like, Cenobites, Leviathan, I don't want to. And then I saw the movie thinking, okay, this will give me some clarity. And it should have given me some Claritin at the very least because my eyes were watering. I was like, I don't understand what's going on. I will say Odessa Atlan is in it, and I love her just in general. She's a very talented actress. They didn't give her a lot to go on, and it was dark, like thematically and visually dark. And Hellraiser looked fantastic, but there's a link in there that I'm missing, and I kept going in and out, and then I was like missing key components, and I was just like, I don't know what's happening. This dude has a machine inside of him. I don't know. It's like a key box. Who knows? So
Jack, do you know the Hellraiser properties?
I've watched a bit of them. I don't know them well enough to have a good conversation, but I think I've watched a little bit of them on like cable. Yes.
All right. I've never seen any of them, and I don't understand it. I don't know what's happening, and I don't understand what that is. What is that?
Yeah, that's Pinhead. That is the infamous Pinhead. But as to,
Okay.
apparently they are the Hellraiser. I don't know if there's a Satan god thing in their mythology. I don't know. There was a lot. It was a lot.
Right.
And all because she couldn't put down this puzzle box. So it was good times.
Okay.
And isn't there more than one, right? How many
yeah.
Hellraisers are there like now?
There are, I want to say like 8. It's crazy.
Right? Yeah.
It just keeps going. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, burn the box, bury it, dismantle this box. So I don't even know.
Jumanji, you got to destroy it.
Exactly.
Right.
My goodness. When it changed to a video game, I was like, I'm done. The first Jumanji terrified me. I was scared. I was
That's
done.
funny.
I was like, he was in the jungle for 25 years. I was so angry and so scarred as like a child watching that. But I like the new ones. They're very fun.
They are. I think they're very fun too. I enjoy the they great
Jack,
cast.
would you consider Jumanji a horror film? Because Stacey clearly does.
No, I personally would not consider Jumanji, but I want to support Stacey in all her feelings.
Thank you.
All right, I will not support. All right, the last thing that I watched was Call Jane, which is the new Elizabeth Banks, Sigourney Weaver film about abortion. Sorry to change the subject from horror, I guess, to abortion.
Well, it is kind of horror, honestly.
Yeah.
I'll say this: I was very, very excited about this movie and was not disappointed, but disappointed.
Underwhelmed.
So, underwhelmed. Yes, it's a good movie, and then it just ends. And I was like, no, we're not going to talk about the fact they're like, we did it. Women can get abortions, and I'm like, when, where, what happened? So that said, Sigourney Weaver, she's perfection always perfection.
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth Banks, also great. The girl who plays Elizabeth Banks' daughter, fantastic.
Do you know her name?
I do not.
What's this show called?
It's called Jane.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
Since you brought up Sigourney Weaver, Aliens, action movie, horror movie?
Ooh.
Great question.
I would say horror because of the aliens, but it does ride that line.
It definitely rides the line of sci-fi action horror, and I have not seen it because it looked too scary.
It is scary.
I
It
haven't
is a
seen it
scary
either,
one.
but I hear it's
It's
great.
it is a scary. It's a great movie, but it is a scary movie. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry I took you off the path of calls.
No,
Oh
no,
no,
that's
you're fine. Yeah, we interviewed uh Natalie Byrne last week, and her favorite movie, her go-to comfort film was Aliens.
her,
And she was
her
like, I
go-to
love it.
comfort film.
Yep, it was great.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's a tough broad. I'm like, look, when when the apocalypse comes, I
You know
want to be
what?
near you.
Sometimes your comfort thing is terrifying.
Right.
People never understand when my comfort show is SVU. That is
Right.
what I watch when I am sad or scared or upset or happy or hungry. Any feeling, that is what I watch. So
No, I guess you're right because I'm similar like that with Training Day. Like if
Yeah.
if it's ever on, I just want to sit and I'll watch Training Day in a second because I think Denzel's so good in it. But it's
Yep.
just it's not really a comforting film by any
Right.
stretch of the
Mine
No,
imagination.
it's
was
a
Minority
comfort.
Report, and I was like, I had to come to a
Right.
reckoning. I was like, is this my favorite movie? So it was like, as much as I watch it, I think it's on the list. So
Wow.
It's a good movie though.
I
But Call
love it.
Jane's based on a true story, right? Isn't it basically based on these women who actually started this whole thing?
I believe so. If not
Yeah.
based on, it's inspired by true events.
Gotcha.
I believe leading up to Roe v. Wade. But it also like glosses over that. It like
Oh.
is a very specific time period. It was disappointing, underwhelming. I was sad. I wanted more, and I wanted better. But it really, and is like horrific. And I'm just gonna spoil some things in it. It's about abortion, and these women are essentially providing services to people who can't find them elsewhere. And because they can't find them elsewhere, they don't necessarily have doctors. And so they're providing abortions. They themselves are doing it. And I am very concerned that the story didn't want to talk about any negative of that. They were like, this
Right.
is bad that we have to do it. And I was like, you're going to kill somebody. And they were like, and we
Yeah.
didn't. And I'm like, that seems unlikely.
Right.
Like there were never
Yeah.
any complications. That seems unlikely.
Yes.
That's kind of it's a double-edged sword, because on one hand, it's like, there probably were,
Right.
but it's like, ooh, what do we do? What do we
Yeah.
do? So yeah,
Yeah.
that's rough. There is a movie that premiered last night at Screamfest. It's called Give Me an A, and it is by Natasha Halavi. Yes, and she's married to Sean Gunn. And basically, right after Roe v. Wade was overturned, she got a collection of like 17 other directors and was like, hey, I want to make this movie. And so it is this overarching movie that has like 15 different short films in it, and all addressing the feelings around Roe v. Wade and just, reproductive rights and the whole shebang. It's so well done. It's so, so good. I'm hoping that it comes to a platform where more people can see it. But right now, check out their Instagram. It's Give Me an A Film on Instagram. It's like horror sci-fi shorts based
interesting.
on Roe v. Wade. So it's very
Wow.
cool.
Well, I'm going to move us on to our next question, which is, what is a sure movie you just discovered? It could be new or old. Jack, what did you just discover?
Well, I got to compliment my wife because I've not been a huge fanatic of the Marvel universe personally.
I
And
don't
she
understand.
She really loves it. So she's like, I think you'll really like She-Hulk. And so
Yeah.
I watched She-Hulk, and I gotta say, I really think it's a great show. I think it's funny, it's good. The stories are good, the characters are great, and I've really enjoyed it. And I never thought I would. And thanks to my wife, she introduced me to something that I prejudged, which I can admit to, and it's a great show.
I'm so happy to hear that. I absolutely love She-Hulk. Every episode was so funny and so good. And I think my favorite thing is that she tells you from the beginning, this is a lawyer comedy. This is what the show is.
Right.
And then as it goes on and people were like, why isn't it doing what I wanted? I'm like, she told you it's a lawyer show. And I love a lawyer show.
Me too,
I
yeah.
was so happy.
It was
and
funny
also,
because go ahead.
sorry, you go, Stacey. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say that I was trying to reconcile the tone because I couldn't quite figure out, like, okay, is it pure comedy? Is it drama? Where is it action? Where are we? And there was a lot of the kind of breaking the fourth wall. And what I learned, a friend of mine, he was like, yeah, that's the comics. He was like, and there is a thing in the comic where she literally talks to the writers, like, what is this plot line? No, you need to scratch this out, and just that whole thing. And so having that background, I appreciated the finale even more with understanding kind of like where it was coming from. But it was very interesting.
That is, that's why I thought it was a very interesting new way of doing it. And also her relationship with the Hulk, Mark Ruffalo, was just fantastic. And like how everything was so much easier for her than him. And it was just, I thought it was I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Were you familiar with Tatiana Maslany before?
I had seen her in something else, but I was not. Yeah, I wasn't tremendously familiar with her.
Okay. Orphan Black,
but
baby.
I thought she was great.
Watch it. It's so good. Put it on the watch list. Orphan Black is and she's so good.
Is Orphan Black a dark show? Would you not? I mean, is it scary?
It's not scary. It's sci-fi. And she plays
an
clones.
Action. Yeah. Basically, she finds out that she has a clone, but then there's also all this conspiracy stuff, and so she keeps meeting up with these different versions of herself, trying to crack what this overall mystery is, but she's literally playing every single one. And there are times when there are like 4 of them in the room, and your mind is like, oh no, it's 4 different people. They're just, they just look alike. It's fine. It's cool. And then you're like, wait a minute, what? So yeah, it's very neat.
I got to interview one of the actors who plays one of the clones' husbands, and I remember thinking,
Christian?
I believe so. Christian, and I remember thinking, I think I remember being like, oh, how sad that you never get to work with Tatiana Maslany, because I forgot that the woman he's married to in the show is Tatiana Maslany, but she's not the main. And I was like, oh wait, you literally do. Everybody gets to work with her in a different way. It's mind blowing. It's a really great show. It took me, I'll tell you this, I hated the first episode. So stick with it.
Yeah. I did.
Where would you watch it? Like, how would I watch it now?
Question.
I want to say it's on Prime now.
Okay.
It's on one of the streaming services. Originally, it was like BBC, and so you just kind of watched it wherever. But I think it's either on Prime or Netflix.
All right, I'll definitely check it out. And I know my wife will like it, so that's up her alley. So
nice.
And Tatiana's great. So yeah.
And Stacey, what is a show or movie you just discovered?
Did I put Rosaline?
Yes,
on Hulu.
Oh, is that good?
Fever. I enjoyed it. At first, of course, there's the jealousy aspect of it, and that part I wasn't as in tune to, but they did some really interesting things with it, and I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was very creative, because you always hear about Rosaline, but it's just like, oh, my love, I'll never love anyone that Juliet, and all that stuff. And so I love that we got the Rosaline, and then there was so much more made into the familial aspect, because Rosaline and Romeo were cousins technically, and then Juliet and Rosaline were cousins, and it's a mess. So I was just like, oh, England, just good times.
I'll watch it definitely. Yeah,
it's very cute, and it's
a comedy,
it's
right?
Watch. Yes, yeah.
Okay,
I would say so.
And I also like Caitlin Dever. So.
Oh, she's wonderful. Caitlin Dever, she
Dever, yeah.
I met her at the
Not okay
TV Awards. No, that's Zoe Deutsch.
You're right. I'm mixing them.
Caitlin is
up. Dope Sick.
Unbelievable. Oh yes, Dope Sick. Yep. There we go.
I mix those 2 girls up, and I don't know why.
But they're so cute, and they're awesome, and they're kind of around the same age. I can see that.
Right. So I just discovered One of Us is Lying. The second season premieres on Thursday. Now,
do you like it? I want to, because I keep wanting to maybe take the dive, and then I just don't. So.
I'm torn on it. Here's why. If you like Pretty Little Liars, if you like Gossip Girl, if you like any of the shows where it's a group of teens that are being stalked by another teen and there's a murder mystery, you're going to love it. You're going to be absolutely obsessed with it. I tend to get I'm impatient. I'm very impatient. And I tend to get very annoyed with shows like that because as someone who watches a lot of crime shows, I'm like, why don't you tell an adult? Why don't you seek help from a professional like a detective?
I love it.
It's just very frustrating for me to watch with my logic brain. That
said, you were. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
No, I just was going to say I absolutely love this cast. They are all so talented. I'm obsessed with these characters. I am so invested in the ships. And it's a beautifully diverse cast. We've got lots of queer couples happening, which we know I love. And it's on Peacock. Again, the second season comes out. My only issue is after a second season, I have a problem with a show like this where it keeps happening, where like somebody dies and they're all accused of the murder. And now we have to deal with who actually did the murder and who's stalking them now. And then somebody else dies and somebody's still stalking them. It can't continue after that for me, because at that point, what is this world you live in where you keep getting stalked and don't think I should go to the police?
And people keep getting murdered around
and people keep getting murdered around you. Yeah.
I thought originally that's what you were going to say, was because with Law and Order, you know, you have an episode, there's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end. And when you deal with these kind of teen shows, especially one that revolves around a mystery, they are looking to renew for a second season. And so then we get the cliffhangers, we get the, oh no, another person's and all that stuff. And it's like, nah, just cut it off and start something else, you know, which is why I kind of like that summer show on Freeform.
Cruel Summer?
Yes, exactly. They were kind of doing like a little anthology thing. And I'm like, yes, I'm here for that. So I'd be interested in that.
Did you like Outer Banks? Is it kind of in that whole wheelhouse of...
I haven't seen that one.
I enjoy Outer Banks, but it's a little slow for me. And there are too many people that just get on my nerves. I am getting to that point where I'm like, get an adult, tell your mother, but then like all they mamas is dead or crazy, you just all that stuff, so you're just like, oh, I don't know, y'all kids have a lot going on right now. I'm gonna let y'all settle for a season.
I remember a lot of these happen in like the highest stakes time of high school, and I remember being focused on colleges and things like that. If there was a murder, I'd be like, listen, I'm telling an adult, this is your problem now. I have other things to focus on. And it like, one of the things in Riverdale, for example, I appreciated that like the parents, they would go to the parents would either get involved or be like, I don't care. And then you'd be like, okay, I understand why the kids are dealing with this without the adults, because the adults aren't helping. But on other shows, like on Pretty Little Liars, they would get in trouble and they would do things and their parents would be like, why are you doing this? They're like, I can't tell you. Tell them.
Just tell them. Yeah. Communication.
Anyway, so I discovered this. Honestly, I feel like I was bullied into watching it by the publicists. And I have seen 2 seasons because I'm impatient. I binged the whole second season, which premieres on Thursday. And that's all I can say about it.
All right.
Yeah, I have a question for you. When you watch a show like that, do you communicate verbally out loud to the TV? Tell your parents. Tell them.
I do.
I hope you release it.
Sometimes.
Because you never know. Someone will hear it, you know.
My favorite thing ever, and it drives anyone that I watch TV with, it drives them crazy, is I will just pause. I'm just like, I need a moment to like recenter my anger. I get like that with any kind of fear stuff, like right before something scary is going to happen. I'm like, nope. And then we're just gonna take a moment, look around, enjoy this. All right, play. Let's go. Or like secondhand embarrassment. I can't deal with it. I can't deal.
Because of the amount of Law and Order I watch, I will shout objections. I will shout at people to get lawyers. Like anytime a kid in a show is like, I'm going to go to the cops, I go, get a lawyer with you. Take a lawyer with you. What are you doing? Take a lawyer. So yes, I do shout at it. Mostly I shout, get a lawyer, and objection. And I can back up my objections. You should have seen me in season 2 of 13 Reasons Why.
Oh my God. I couldn't make it through season 1, but I love the idea, especially when you're like objection, then the lawyer says objection and the judge is like sustained, and you're just like, well
I
done.
did it.
So you just gotta pump him up.
All right, we got to keep moving along. What is a show or movie you think everyone should watch at least once, Jack?
Well, this is a very hard question to answer because there are a lot of great movies and TV shows out there, honestly. But what I chose is I recently recovered from COVID, bad COVID. There's good COVID and bad COVID. I realized this was a badder one for me.
Mhm.
So I was like stuck in Butte, Montana. And luckily my computer and internet were working. So Taxi Driver came on, which I think,
Talking to me.
yeah, it's a great movie. I mean, it's a dark, underbelly life. It doesn't uplift you, but it somehow really just felt really comforting. Maybe because I grew up in New York too, but it's just shot so well.
Mhm.
Martin Scorsese is so early on, and the other characters, Jodie Foster's amazing in it, and she's like 14 or 15.
Young
I-
Jodie
Well,
Foster.
Wasn't
Yeah.
that her
Yeah,
first
and-
movie?
No, I think it was her second movie, but I don't know.
Okay.
But just she was so young, and it's just so well done. It's such a great side of New York City that I loved looking at all the old blocks. It was just low. I mean, I was obviously shot. I wasn't around when it shot. It's before me, but it was just fun to like see old New York with and just,
Yeah.
But it's a great story of this guy, and just I really support like the late nights at the coffee shop where they talk, and they're also pimps there, and it's a great movie, and De Niro is just phenomenal in it. Yeah. So that's my recommendation. You
I
have
love
to
that.
see it.
I love it.
I have seen it
Oh yeah.
once, many, many years ago,
Talking to me.
and remember, I didn't know that was the movie that came from.
Mhm.
And I sat down and watched it. I went, this is the movie. This is the one where that's from.
It's
Like,
true.
aha!
Pretty much all I remember.
Yeah.
Nice. Stacey, what about you? What is a movie or show that everyone should watch at least once?
Mine was Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
That's a great one. Yeah.
I love it. It's just universally fun. It's one of the John is it Christopher Columbus who did like the Brat Pack, or John, what's his name?
John Hughes?
Who's- yeah,
Is it a John
was-
Hughes?
I think so. He did 16 Candles and
Yeah, I think it's John
all that
Hughes, yeah.
stuff. Yeah, it's one of those films that fits into that thing, but without the brat packiness of it, without the kind of social like, oh, I'm poor and I want to be rich, or I'm an outsider. It's just like two kids having fun, three kids out in Chicago. I love Chicago, and Matthew Broderick, Alan Ruck. Oh, I love this movie, and it's so watchable and it holds up. And then like you get the Charlie Sheen at the end with
Right.
baby and everything, and I love it. It's good times.
It's so good because the Ruck thing, I was so happy when he got Succession because
Yeah.
he
Is
was,
he on Succession?
yeah,
I'm gonna have to start watching Succession.
and he's
God
so
dang
good in it.
it.
But yeah, Ferris Bueller is a great movie. Matthew Broderick, also born and bred in New York City. I just want to give
Yep.
a shout out to New York City for Matthew Broderick.
That's
And
right.
continues
I don't
to
know
live
him, but
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he grew up. Yeah, but yeah, it's a great
Oh.
movie. Ferris Bueller Day Off.
I
agree
love
with
it.
you.
Those are great picks. So my pick, I was like, I have to go with a John Waters film. You have to see one John Waters film, and I decided the one to pick was Hairspray
It's a
because
good
this is such a good. It is like peak John Waters. You understand his sense of humor. You have Divine in it, which is important because that is if you're going to watch a John Waters movie, you have to watch one with Divine. And it's so good. It's from 1988. It stars Ricky Lake, who
Mhm.
growing up, I only knew as the talk show host.
Yeah.
So when I discovered that she was Tracy Turnblad, I lost my mind. A lot of people don't realize that it was a movie before it was a play.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, it was the 1988 John Waters movie before it became a play at all. And it's so good. It talks about such incredible issues. It's one of the first, I think, body positive movies to ever exist, which is a big platform I'm a big fan of. It talks about racism and segregation, and it is John Waters humor. So it is weird. It is wacky. I remember the first time I saw it, I was confused out of my mind as to what I was looking at. And it's
Was Harvey
so good.
Firestein
Not in that one.
Okay. It was a different one.
That was, I believe, that was the play, and then one of the movies, and then John Travolta, obviously, also. It's been a lot of people. Hairspray is fantastic. I think you have to watch a John Waters movie, and if you're going to watch one, I think start with Hairspray.
Yeah.
That's my vote.
Yeah, John Waters is, and Divine is an icon. So I agree with
Yeah.
you. When I see Divine perform,
Honestly,
wasn't Johnny Depp in one of his movies too? Like years
he was in
ago
a
or
few of
so?
them. He was in
Is it Baby
Crybaby.
Doll? Crybaby. There we go. I was like, I knew it had baby in it.
It had baby in it. I think he was in a more than one, but I know he was the star of Crybaby. Divine was in quite a few of them.
Man, that was peak Depp. Oh, so beautiful.
I just
Curl.
it's his
Divine
movies
was
are
in a
so
lot of
good.
them, right?
Yeah,
Divine,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Divine was so good.
She was a muse.
She was.
Yeah.
She was amazing. Yeah.
And now I can't hear the city that most of his movies take place in without the song "Good Morning, That City" starting in my head.
What's the tune on that one? Stacey already sang. Yeah,
I
give us a little bit.
don't sing, and I have no voice, but it's "Good Morning, Baltimore." And now it's in my head. Thank you. Moving on. Our last question is, what is the most surprising show or movie that you love? Jack, take it away.
Well, this is a little embarrassing for me because I'm not a huge proponent of reality television because I feel like it takes work away from us actors. But I am a sucker for The Voice. So I will either watch it live, which I did last night, or had a rain delay, so I was shifting around, and it caught me because I do actually I think they're very talented. But I'll definitely, if I don't watch the live version, I'll definitely go to YouTube and catch up on everybody. And it's just a really feel good show, and I just need a talent. It makes you realize like how talented people are in this world. You know, like there's so many incredibly talented people that it's overwhelming and also fantastic at the same time. So it's nice to see people get celebrated for their work. And
yeah, I
just
love
really enjoy
that.
it.
I think that I'm also not a big reality TV person, but when I do watch reality, it's going to be people for their skill set. And I think that The Voice is a great example that like, these are people who want to sing and they are singers and that is what they're trying to do with their lives. And maybe they don't have the same opportunities that other people in maybe bigger cities or have means. And I think that's so wonderful. And I think reality shows that are doing that are helping people achieve their goals are beautiful. Most other reality shows, less so. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I had to stop reality way back, like maybe Amazing Race times, just because I was getting way too invested. And I was like, I don't know these people. It's like they're not racing for me. So it's just like, I got to leave this. And because I got real deep into the Housewives franchises, and I was just like, I cannot give any more brain space to remembering these storylines, which is what they are at this point. So, yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah. Wow, Stacey. I can't believe you and the Stacey, what is the most surprising show movie you love? And by chance, do you have a photo of it? Because I
do. Ding, 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 ding. Wait. Oh. It's called, I got the little blur on, but it's called I Want to Hold Your Hand. And it is this show, no real huge names in it. It used to come on TV all the time. And so it was one of those where, it would just come on, and it's basically about the Beatles performing their very first show on Ed Sullivan, and this group of kids from all over who were desperate to go. And we're like, we have to go, we have to see them. And it just kind of follows those exploits. And I love the idea of these kind of like scrappy kids and that being the most important thing in their world. Where like, this matters above all else. We have to get it done. And just the simplicity of that is so fun. And the parents being like, oh, those long hair freaks, they look like girls. You're just like they really thought like the Beatles don't look like girls at all. Like, what kind of girls? But just that weird thing of kids being kids and things changing, and the parents either responding to that or rejecting it, and just all of that. I just love it. It's a really, really fun movie.
Stacey, this is a Robert Zemeckis film.
Yeah,
That's wild.
isn't it wild? It's one of those things where I feel like people, I guess, in the like between 91 and 93, if you were like 12 9 to 12 in that area, you saw this random film, and I just fell in love with it. It was on constantly. Yeah, executive produced by Steven Spielberg. Oh, okay, this is a movie, but it's very good. I think I
It is
got
a
this for
movie.
$1 at Walmart.
That is
but-
the most surprising movie you love. I am
Right?
shocked. Wow.
It's great.
Jack, are you a big Beatles fan?
I like them. Yeah. Of course, I like the Beatles. I would say I like this. I also like when you talk about the Beatles, you have to like compare them, like similar to like the Stones. So which side do you pick? I'd say I'd probably like the Stones more than Beatles. Similar like Nirvana more than Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
But
I'm not big on the Beatles. It's funny because I grew up with the Monkees. And so the Monkees were my Beatles. And we used to crack up all the time because we're like, the Monkees, of course, are big during the late 50s, early 60s, kind of in that area. And but then VH1 and MTV started to re-show them in the early to mid 80s. And so you have this weird fan base of like 80-year-olds and 30 to 40-year-olds that love the Monkees. And sadly, we have only one left, and I am determined to shake his hand at some point. So we'll see what
they
happens.
said I don't want to come down hard on you, but the Monkees are like here. The
I
Beatles
know.
are like here.
I know, but they're
offense.
here.
No,
But they're here.
no.
Also, I compare Monkeys to Partridge Family.
Oh,
dear.
yeah.
No, it's probably
why?
It's
Only
the Brady
because
Bunch.
of the TV shows.
Yeah,
It's because they both had the shows. And that's why in my head they are equal.
I'll take it. I still love it.
I would still say, but just to support Stacey, I would say they're better than the Partridge Family, the Monkees.
There we go.
Yeah, all right. We need to make this scale.
I know, right?
I just want to make up to. I don't want to come down too hard on them.
I love that. All right. The most surprising show or movie that I love is something I actually discovered. My roommate introduced me to recently. I tend to be very particular with animation. I tend to prefer adult animation. So the fact that I watched 2 seasons of this show called Dead End Paranormal Park on Netflix.
I heard it was great. Yeah.
It's weird. It's I don't even understand. And I've been trying to read the Wikipedia. It's like you and Hellraiser. I've been trying to understand.
Right.
It was based on a comic book, but I think the comic book was based on a short that was made at some point and then got changed. Here's what I like about it. The cast it's an animated show, but the cast is, the characters are all very diverse. It's a very queer show. You have a trans lead, who is this nice Jewish boy, which obviously I love. His best friend is I believe a Muslim girl who turns out in the 2nd season, which just came out, discovers that she is not straight. And so that is all I'm going to say about that. And then there's demons, and then there's angels, and none of them are what you expect to see. Like, when you see the demon realm, it's not what you think a demon realm looks like. When you see the angel realm, that's also, you're like, how is this? All right, whatever. It's weird. These kids live in a theme park. It took me until finishing the second season to realize that they're supposed to be 17. I thought these were 12-year-olds.
Oh,
They're
I thought
supposed to
so
be,
too. Yeah.
they're supposed to be 17, and they live in this theme park that is kind of inspired by Dollywood. And the main character whose park it is, I forget her name, but is voiced by a drag queen. And so it's just a very confusing and weird, and I don't know why I like it. And I don't know that I like it. I don't really know how I feel about it. It's
You
confusing
just keep
to me.
watching to find out. You're like, I
Yeah.
guess I'll try another one. And
I'm
then it's
just
like
so
2 seasons
impatient.
in.
I want answers.
Right.
Stacey,
I
you've seen
love
it?
Bits and pieces. I was going to do a write-up of it, and I started watching. I was like, I don't have the wherewithal right now to really get into this, but I would, down the
Even
line.
fully
So
paying attention, you will be confused.
yeah.
I will say there's a pug that talks, and everyone knows that I do like that.
Mhm.
Jack, are you a big animated person?
I do I watched Big Mouth. I thought Big Mouth was pretty
Oh yeah.
good.
Obsessed with Big Mouth.
Did you
Yeah,
watch
Big
Human
Mouth.
Resources?
Yes,
It's
and
pretty
also
good.
I've watched. Of course, I watched The Simpsons through the years and
Oh yeah.
a few other ones. Yeah, so yeah, I like animation. Yeah,
Yeah, this is
like
not that.
I thought like Beauty and the Beast was better animated than live.
Oh yeah.
Personally, so
Correct. That is
Yeah.
but I
correct.
just want to point them out. I feel like both your choices were for what you're embarrassed or interested in watching. A lot better than mine's really embarrassing compared to you
Yours
two.
is
You're a
good.
lot more. You guys are so highfalutin compared to you got. Stacey has like Spielberg on it. You have like a cryptic like storyline and animation. I just have the voice.
Yeah, but
So
yours at least is uplifting people with talent.
There you go.
yeah, but it's still I feel a little bit more embarrassed now. But thank you.
Oh, mine used to be. I was huge in American Idol. It was concerning, probably, but at the time I worked an overnight job, so I had plenty of time to be
Right.
obsessed with American Idol. But I think once Adam Lambert lost, I was like, we're done. And then after that, there were like 6 country winners in a row, and I was like, no, I can't have this. So yeah, I had to let go. And I was like, The Voice, you will not catch me, The Voice. You will not get me. You will not trap me, The Voice.
Adam Lambert was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Exactly. Yes.
Jack, if it makes you feel any better, one previously I've answered most surprising show movie I loved was a Christmas movie called Noel on Disney Plus.
That's
And as we
right.
know, I hate Christmas. So that was embarrassing.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very good.
So I thought I'd bring up my embarrassment to make you feel better.
Good, thank you. I do appreciate. I feel comforted a little bit. I do.
Okay. I'm glad. Jack, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
here
you,
on the show.
Jack.
Let everybody know where they can see you and where you are on social media if you do social medias.
I am on social media. It's all at Jack Sochet. My name is spelled differently than it's pronounced. Last name is it's JackSochet. And so that's on my Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. And all I can say is go see Smile, Yael, Stacey. Now that you know me, I hope you have some guilt that forces you to go. Because there's sometimes
We don't need guilt. We know we're gonna love it.
sometimes there's healthy guilt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so this is healthy guilt. It's not like bad guilt. And I think because it's a great thing to see in movie theaters. I'm just really happy with it. And you'll see Carl Rank and myself. You'll understand him better after seeing it. And it's a really good film. And Parker Finn, the director, as I said before, really creative. The thing about horror that I realized is it's almost similar to animation. People are so creative.
Mm.
Like there's a freedom of creativity that sometimes in the basic narrative form we're not allowed always. So it's really interesting to kind of understand that. And also Sophie Bacon, as you know, I don't know have you guys watched Mayor of Easttown at all?
Yeah.
She was great in that.
Okay.
Yeah, she's
And
so
she's
good.
phenomenal
Is she
in
Kevin's
it.
daughter?
Yes.
There you go.
And Kira.
And Kira.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kevin and
We
Kira.
can't let Kira go down here. Yeah.
That is how, two really talented people make a talented
Yes.
person. It's really
Yes.
how it
Oh
works.
yeah. Ooh, she looks just like her
Jack, thank
mom.
you so much. I will make sure I go with someone who's seen it, who can sit next to me and go, something scary is about to happen.
There
Right,
we
exactly.
go.
Tell you when to cover your eyes. I think
Yep.
that's it's important to have a support system in life and then going to movies. So I think it's good.
Thank
I'll
you.
go
That's
with you.
how I sat through. You have to go through
I'm
it.
sure also you could probably hire somebody. It'd be actually an interesting job. I'll take you to a horror film. I've seen this movie and I'll guide you through it. That's
Well, we
extra
just
money.
started a new business right here.
Exactly.
Hey!
Before we go, I want to remind everyone that Hollywood Critics Association has lots of amazing content coming out every week, including after shows, Pop Council on Mondays, and more. Until next time, Stacey, where are you on the internet, and what are you up to these days?
I am at Sticky Keys on Instagram, STICKYKEYS, and on Twitter. So yeah, check me out. And I'm
Amazing.
just writing and going to things.
All right. I am everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That is YAELTYGIEL. And you can find me next week on the Saturn Awards, which will be streaming exclusively on Electric Now. You can find me on the pre-show Red Carpet. So check that out. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Yay.
Thank
thanks.
you.